Today I want to talk to you about more students apply early. The number of students applying to college under early decision plans. This was printed in the USA Today a few years ago. You see that in 1997, 1998, 41,664 students applied. But over the years, that number increased. In 2003, 2004, 78,847 students applied early. So, what we want to do is see if this trend holds up and matches a linear progression. So what we're going to do is take that data and put it into the calculator. Now, I've put list 1 as the years and list 2 as the number of students. However, I did not put 1997. Instead, I put 0 there, and year 1 and year 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. That keeps the numbers a little smaller, easier to manage. Now, that will come later and we'll need to look at that again. It's very important to realize that as we look at making a prediction about maybe the number of students in 2008. How many are going to apply early this year? So, we're going to do that on the calculator. So that's where we're going now. Here we go. First, once the data is in the calculator, I'm going to quit and go home. Before I graph this data as a scatter plot, I need to make sure a couple of things are ready to go. First, I need to turn on the stat plot. I'm going to use stat plot 1. Make sure it's on. Need to make sure it's a scatter plot. My X list are the numbers in list 1. My Y list are the numbers in list 2. And as we have seen, the X list will be the years, and the Y list will be the number of students. That's what I wanted. Now, the second thing that's very important is to set the window so that you can see the particular data that is in the calculator in both lists. So, recall that we're going from year 0 to year 6. We'd also keep in mind that we would like to predict what would happen a little further out. So I set my window from -2 to 12 on the x-axis. By setting the window from -2 to 12, I can see the y-axis, which is generally just a point of reference. It helps me see the data better. And then I set my y window from 40,000 up to 150,000. Counted by 2,000. That should give me a good picture of the data. So once we have the stat plot on, by the way, we want to make sure that no other information is going to be graphed in this window, so just make sure everything in the Y1s are clear. You can also see that the plot 1 is highlighted, so we know, again, plot 1 is in fact on. So the window is set, the plot 1 is on, hit graph. This is a good picture of our data. It also allows for the prediction to be made out here. Now you heard a moment ago I talked about year 0 being 1998. Year 1 is 1999. Year 2 is 2000. Year 3 is 2001. Year 4 is 02. 5 is 03, 6 is 04. This is a difference of 2 right now, so if we go out to 2008, we need to think about X being 10. Let me say that again. X is going to be 10 because year 0 is 1998. As this progresses, these numbers count up as well. And after you get past 2000, you can see there's always a change of 2. So at 08, the X will be 10. So that's where we want to know. We want to know sort of what that number is going to be. How many students applied early in 2010? To do that, we're going to use a linear regression equation. So quit and go home and calculator. Under the stat menu, arrow to the right, number 4 is the linear regression model. We're also going to tell the calculator, make sure we're talking about list 1, and list 2, and then take that answer and put it into Y1. So variables, arrow to the right, function, and the name number Y1. What that does is, when we hit enter, it takes the answer and puts it into Y1. Takes that linear equation, which is y is equal to 5,908x plus 42,998. Takes that answer and puts it into Y1, so that when we hit graph again, our line is there. That is the linear regression line, or as your book calls it, the trend line. So, to make this prediction, I need to go out here to 10. So I'm going to just trace it. Notice that plot 1, these data points are being traced right now. Is there a 10 in this set of data? The answer is, of course, no. We want to be able to get out there, though, so arrow up, and we will trace our trend line. Is 10 a point on the trend line? And is there an X value that I can put in there called 10? Of course there is. The answer is 102,086 students in 2008, So we've used the trend line to make a prediction of how many students would be applying early in 2008.